don't like that either. I slide mine way up. How's that?
Mayor, we're live.
Okay. There we go. Make it work. Now, here we go. So, go. Welcome to the regular meeting of Helotes City Council. It's January 23rd, 7 p.m. Please rise with me for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in prayer. God, we thank you for our community, and we thank you for the freedoms that we so often take for granted. Lord, I thank you that we have a council, that I have colleagues here that are committed to our city. I thank you for our city staff who works diligently and thoroughly to prepare us in advance for these meetings. And Lord, I'd ask that we would have ears to listen and open minds to discuss the issues on the agenda tonight. We pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. Okay, well, we welcome everybody. Thank you for braving the remaining cold. Hopefully that is behind us. At this time, we are going to open the public hearing to give all interested parties the right to appear and be heard on the proposed petition voluntary annexation by CSW Shanefield Limited Partnership for 2 tracts of land totaling approximately 6.714 acres on Shanefield Road near the intersection with FM 1560. There are 2 tracts. Tract 1 is described as 2.432 acres as Bearcat Property Tax ID number 236168, and tract 2, which is 4.45 acres, described in detail at Bearcat Property Tax ID number 236169. So we will open the public hearing. The time is 7:02. Is there anybody that is interested in speaking this public hearing?
We have the one.
I'm sorry, we have one, two. This, I thought that was citizens be heard.
No, they put Shanefield.
David Lee. Yes, sir. Please come to the podium, just state your name and address for the record, and share your thoughts at this public hearing.
David Lee, and I live at don't live, but I have 2 places here in Helotes. And the one of them is on Shanefield next to the properties that's on the agenda.
Okay.
And I was just asking, or would ask, what if they're going to request annexation, what are they getting for that annexation and extra taxes that the rest of us along Shanefield are not going to be afforded?
Okay, there are actually no agreements for. Are you asking if there's tax abatements, like where they don't have to pay taxes? Is that
that'd be interesting? But mainly for me, it's sewer and water.
You're asking. I guess I'm not understanding. You're asking, are they going to get sewer and water services?
Yes.
And currently, does your property have sewer and water access? So that's property development. That really doesn't really have anything to do with us. That would be with SAWS and CPS as far as their access for that property. I know CVS there on the corner has water and sewage. So
so there's
details of the connection. There's no matters of the deal of annexation that deals with access to water and sewer.
So they just voluntarily wants to be annexed and taxed.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else wanted to speak?
Know that Amazon has that was the only one, Mayor, for the public hearing.
Perfect. Okay, at this time, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:04 PM. This time we'll move to citizens to be heard. We have one person signed up for citizens to be heard. Please, when our call, come up and state your name and your address for the record. Lee Wright.
Good evening, council. I'm Lee Wright, and I work at Gun Shack, which is 15241 Bandera Road. And I am speaking tonight as the representative of the business, as we have an item on your agenda. Number 11 is the variance that we have requested for placing a sign on the eaves of our building in very similar nature to a couple that have been approved and placed recently at the Meadows and the Barbecue Pro Shop, just slightly down the road and across from us. I will be available if you have any questions at all during the actual formal portion of that, and would love to take the opportunity to talk with you about it at that time.
Good. Thank you very much. We have nobody signed up online?
No.
Okay, that's it signed up. So we'll go ahead and close the citizens to be heard. Which brings us to the consent agenda. Looking for a motion and a second. Unless there's an item that needs to be pulled by anybody for approval of consent agenda items number 4 and 5 as written. Motion by David Cato, second by Merchant. No discussion needed. All in favor of approving consent agenda items number 4 and 5 as written, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we'll be adjourning into closed session in accordance with Texas Government Code 551.071 for consultations with the attorney, and section 551.074 for personnel matters, and 551.087 deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. No decisions will be made. We will be returning for open session, so feel free to join and stay here and enjoy the company of your fellow citizens. We are adjourning into closed session at 7:06 PM. We will return. That's what it is. I was on.
That's true, it's unique.
Okay, this is off. Okay. Oops. 7:30. All right. We're here. All right, we're good. We are back from executive session. The time is 7:30. No decisions were made. And we will continue looking for a motion in a second to discuss and take action on item number 7 as written.
Mr. Mayor, I move we discuss, take action on agenda item number 7 as written.
Motion by Sanders, second by.
Second.
You sure? Okay. All right. Every so often, we get the opportunity to be able to look at an opportunity to level up, if you will, and move into the next phase of an organization. In this particular case, we are looking at the hiring of a new executive director for our Economic Development Corporation. Per the bylaws as they're written now, this nomination for this position comes from the mayor to be approved by council. This was a process where we posted and did a significant search. We had excellent candidates, and we had 2 rounds or 2 groups of interviews that we had, and ultimately came down to a unanimous decision of preference by not only city council member, myself, city administrator, but also EDC board members. And so I am very happy to present my recommendation, my nomination for the director of EDC for Mr. Arnie Jacob, who is with us right now. Welcome. Thank you very much. Really, we can open this up for any, let's see, Councilman, questions or issues or?
Definitely no questions. I was part of the interview process as well as several other people's, like the mayor said. And yeah, Arnie stood up well above all the rest. And we're lucky to have you, assuming this all gets approved tonight, which I'd be surprised if it didn't. But I'd like to be one of the first folks to welcome you once we get through the vote.
Jen, you second. Do you have any thoughts, comments?
No, I was not part of the interview process, but we just received as a council an executive summary and was able to look through the applicant's resume, which is quite impressive. And I am encouraged because there is a huge need to get someone in the position up and running quickly. So I'm thankful for all the hard work of the interview committee.
Dave? No comment. Okay. So there are 2 steps on this. The first is to go ahead and vote for approval. So we'll just call for a vote on approval of the nomination. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, nomination is approved. And the second part of this item is to authorize the mayor and city attorney to negotiate and execute a contract per the terms discussed in closed session. So concerning that item of that portion of item 7, all in favor of authorizing myself and the city attorney to negotiate and execute a contract per our terms discussed, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. What do we got? Who's
Trying to figure out which speaker it is.
okay? We're working through that. Bear with us on our technical
I
difficulty.
think it is yours, Mayor. When you-
Could be test. Just my one, right? The one we're using. Okay.
Yeah, it's yours because I just muted it.
Okay. Maybe I can talk loud. How about that? This point, looking for a motion in a second to discuss and take action on item number 8 as written.
So moved, Mayor.
Okay. Motion by Merchant, second by
I'll second it.
Second by Sanders. All right, this is a very interesting item where we have the opportunity to discuss the voluntary annexation of the 2 tracts of land that we had the earlier public hearing on. Do we have any representatives from the annexation group? No, okay. And that's all right. They're not required to be here. Just turn it over. Councilman, do you have any questions, issues?
No, I don't have any questions or issues. I just think that annexing properties such as this is an opportunity for Helotes. And I think we should take advantage of that.
For those that are curious exactly where this land is, it is, if you go out 1560 towards Shanefield, at the intersection of Shanefield and 1560, you see the CVS. So this would be, it's two parcels that basically go from 1560 and wrap around CVS and then back out to Shanefield Road. So there'll be multiple building sites on there. There's a better picture of it, the actual meets and bounds of it. Councilmember Solons, do you have any questions, issues? Greg?
No.
Okay, with no further discussion, all in favor of approving item number 8 as written, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Brings us to a second item of related business, item number 9, looking for a motion, a second, discuss and take action on item number 9 as written.
So moved.
Motion by Merchant, second by
I'll second that.
Sanders. And of course, this has to deal with the development agreement. It was asked earlier at the public hearing, are they getting any incentives or anything to annex? There are no financial incentives here. There are a couple of variances, and in a development agreement, the whole agreement is basically one large variance to cover the entire property, and this will be written into the agreement. Essentially, we allow up to 40 feet, and in the back area, there's a structure that they want to build that is going to be 45 feet. And so that is a variance there. We have no sign variances that are requested. We have, I'm sorry, one other. Actually, properly, I should turn it over to Councilman Merchant to speak first. I apologize.
No, no worries. I was listening intently. So again, I think this is an excellent opportunity for Helotes to expand potential business opportunities, and I think that given the alternative of letting Bear County supervise these properties being built, it's probably best that we have a hand in it so that we can put some aesthetics to this and make it look right and be a part of the Helotes community. I do think that, again, I will say that the potential here is excellent for Helotes. So that's what I think.
Okay. Councilman Sanders?
So I agree with my colleague here. It will be nice that see if Helotes will manage, control the development as this gets built. And then this area was going to get built anyways, like council member Merchant was alluding to, because if we didn't annex them, Bear County would go ahead and build it. So it makes sense for us to do this. And if you go back to the old Economic Development Corporation's growth plan, which is a bit dated, this was an area where we were looking to annex property and for sales tax purposes. So this does still line up, even though it's a bit of a dated document. It makes sense that we approve this development agreement.
And again, the other variants that are included in this, again, for the record, is a reduction in setback on the back property line. But they agreed to concede to put in a wider driveway around that building to allow for fire truck access, something they wouldn't be required under Bear County. So we would be responding as far as mutual aid if there ever was a fire. So this does make it a safer environment for our firefighters to operate in. All right. Any other further comments, questions, issues? All in favor of approving item number 9 as written, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up is item number 10, looking at motion in a second to discuss item number 10 as written for a wall sign for 15241 Bandera Road, Suite 2.
So moved.
Motion by Merchant, second by Cato. Sir?
Yeah, this is, it's a wall sign for Saving a Hero's Place. And I don't have any issues with this at all. So I think it's a good idea, and this place should be seen and visited. So it was also unanimously approved by our Board of Planning and Zoning, so I don't have any issues with this.
Correct?
No, no issues.
Sabrina?
No.
Okay. No further discussion. All in favor of approving item number 10 is written, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Item number 11, looking for a motion and second to discuss and take action on item number 11. Also for roof mounted sign for Gun Shack.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Merchant, second by Stones. Sir?
There's representatives here, so in case anybody has any questions up here, but I think that, okay, I side with the Planning and Zoning Commission, and in this case, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted 3-1 to recommend disapproval for this roof mounted sign. I am of the opinion that this is okay, so it doesn't fit the size requirement, but if we look at the picture that is being shown here on the screen, ratio wise, it doesn't look overpowering and it doesn't look bad, and it's in Old Town Helotes, and I kind of like the letters, and I don't have a problem with this. I'm just going to leave it at that. I like the sign. And currently, the little sign that you see in the picture is hardly visible from the road because there's a little hill kind of looking down on it. So I think they should be seen, and I do like this sign.
It should be pointed out though, for those who are concerned about size,
It is a little.
we have learned that size calculations can be done multitudes of ways. Squaring out the area and calculating the area of the rectangle. You calculate the square inches or square footage of the actual letters in a sign such as this. And there are a multitude of different ways of being able to go on the calculation. So at this point, P&Z are stuck with a box that they have to operate in before they can approve. And so really kind of comes down to your opinion on this.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Sure. Selena, can you roll down to the next, like, keep rolling down? And I want to just point this portion out. So the last picture, the very last picture they have, one more. Right. The last one, there you go. So if you're driving by, this is what you see. You can't see their sign because this is the slope of the road. So as they sit right now, you kind of have nothing. And I like the idea that they can put it on the roof so you can see it when you drive by. And that's kind of where I sit with this. Thank you.
I agree. This is why we have the ability to approve variances is with the elevation being lower and how quickly the traffic moves on 16. We want to support our businesses. And as a small business owner, I know how important signage is. I'm amazed by when I work on our signage, how even certain product moves faster depending on what's on a sign. We want to support our businesses, and I like that it has a Old Town Helotes feel to the signage. So I would urge my colleagues to support the variance.
I agree. I think because of the slope for the location of your business, you need to have something on the roof. And I also tend to agree with the planning and zoning recommendations, but in this case, I would support this variance.
Just kill that.
I want to kill it because then
Dave?
I agree with the need for a roof sign. I'm all for it.
Craig?
I do have a question. Is there a reason why, so we're asking for a variance, is there a reason why we didn't look at the ordinance? You are authorized an actual monument sign that you can actually place right along FM 16, unless that had been rejected in the past. I'm just curious.
So we looked at the monument sign, but going back to how far down we sit, the level of height we would have had to do on a monument sign, we still would be doing a variance. And when you are coming past the trees coming into Helotes, it still doesn't really give you opportunity to see what's there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
One of our P and Z members who I talked to, Buck Russell, also said he had safety concerns about a monument sign being there as well.
It has been known to be a high-speed exit ramp for quick ammunition pickup. It's important. All right. Any other comments? Okay. With no further discussion, all in favor of approving item number 11 as written, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Carries. Congratulations. I appreciate you. Second to last, looking for a motion in a second to discuss and take action on item number 12 as written.
Mr. Mayor, I move we discuss, take action on agenda item number 12 is written.
Okay, motion by Sanders, second by Merchant. Yes, sir.
This is all straightforward. I don't know who from Public Works wants to answer my question. I talked to Justin, so
Here he is.
he answered my question, but I just wanted to have him an opportunity to share with the fellow council members. Which was actually, this is a good news story. Not that the overall agenda item is a good news story, right? For us to be able to fix those low point, those flood points, right? On Peregrine and on Circle A. But I was confused when I looked through all the documents that were attached. We had a total number of this is going to cost us to do both those at $775,000 ish, right? And there was something in there about saws, and I was confused because I'm not the smartest person sitting up here. So I'm like, I asked him, I said, what is this $140,000 thing that? And so if you could explain that. What the $140,000 is and how it relates to the overall cost.
Yeah, so this project was done as a joint bid between us and SAWS. The reason for doing a joint bid is they can do their work at lower cost and we can get our work done at lower cost, right? So we don't have to do all the paying to move the SAWS infrastructure, and SAWS gets to upgrade and move their infrastructure without paying all the cost of reinstalling asphalt or putting base in or doing anything like that. So as you see it now, that 140,000 is the SAWS part of it. So what you will see from us later is a ILA from SAWS where they are going to actually refund us that $140,000.
So our total net cost will be the 775?
Yeah, so we will upfront the 775, right, for the construction. And then we will get a refund from SAWS for their behalf.
So our net cost is really gonna be 635.
Something of that nature, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have the road tax that we're gonna assess on this, or that our line item, the line item that it's coming out of?
Yeah, so this will come out of the street maintenance fund.
Street maintenance fund.
And we had originally budgeted $1 million from it from council back in the day. So we should be well under what we originally planned.
Excellent. I know there's a lot of people off the Circle A trail that have been looking for this project for a long time. It's been taking a while because a lot of the engineering that had to be done in this, and of course the bidding out, we had hoped to have had this done last summer, but it'll be being done this summer. And we anticipate a start date of?
I don't have a solid start date. After this meeting, our engineers will reach out with the company, SAWS, and then the city of Helotes. We will get a solid start date, and then we're 180 days for majority completion.
Yeah, perfect.
So I have one last question. So this is coming out of the street. I thought this was paid by ARPA.
No.
COVID money.
We had originally went to budget out of ARPA. Our old public works director had advised council that we can take it out of street maintenance. And that's how we move forward with it.
Okay, great. Thanks for reminding me.
For those that are not aware, we have a street maintenance. It comes from our tax base, and it's limited in what those funds can be used for. So it has grown to be a sizable purse of money. So being able to use the ARPA funds for other things that we need allows us to be able to use our dedicated funds for projects such as this. So it worked out really fabulously all the way around.
And my last comment is, thank you, Justin, Corey, Public Works. I see you guys everywhere, every day when I'm coming home from work. You guys are busting your butts. So I appreciate what you guys are doing for the city.
All right, Merchant.
Nope, no comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
David, Jen, okay. With no further discussion, all in favor of approving item number 12 is written, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And finally, looking for a motion and a second, discuss and take action on item number 13 is written.
So moved.
Motion by Merchant, second by
I'll second.
Sanders, okay. And this, of course, is our street maintenance plan for the year 2025 with Justin making a repeat appearance before us. Thank you, Justin. If you want to walk us through this in the least amount of brain damage for our part.
All right, so I'll make it quick. So some of these activities you already know about, but this is a general breakdown of the expenditures that will come out of our street maintenance account for the 24-25 year. Our big project we're working on as far as in-house stuff is going to be our Old Town Special District and then Scenic Loop. We're going to micro surface all those streets. Now that SAWS is done with their project, the plan is to finish out and take care of the roads in there so that way all the businesses in Old Town will not be disturbed for the foreseeable future. Or else in this scenario, it could be a couple years down the road where we're back and having construction in Old Town. So we want to get those businesses where they have a long period of time before we're going to interrupt them again. The next part is we're doing a PCI update and some guardrail repairs throughout the city. The PCI update is to update our conditions for all of our roads so we know what kind of shape they're in. This matters importantly, especially with things like development services. So that way, when people come in and do work on our roads for utilities and stuff like that, there are certain criteria they have to meet. If a road is a high enough scale, they have to replace it block to block, right? The only number that we give for that number is the PCI score. So if we have a road that's in great condition, that PCI number is what proves that that road is in that condition. So that's one reason why we're going to get it updated. And then of course, guardrails, we have to replace them all the time. The last big project, of course, is Peregrine Circle A, as y'all just approved. That we had budgeted for $1 million. Obviously, we're going to be well under that. And then the last part of it is going to be, we have $96,000 left to pay off the rest of the engineering and the LOMAR and CLOMAR for all the floodplains related to that. Though the engineering has already been approved by council, this is just an update of expenditures that we're going to spend. So our total max we would be willing to spend this year would be $1,800,016,100. Obviously, you've already seen we're going to be under that, but that is our max projected. Okay. So for Old Town and for Scenic Loop, obviously we're going to do a microsurface treatment. We did this on the main road of Iron Horse. This is a surface protection treatment, and it's also designed to give a wear surface on the road. This is just, that one's just a little more detail on it, but I'm not going to go through too detailed unless someone has any questions. Next, we'll show you the big drainage projects. This is what they currently look right now. Obviously, they're heavily eroded. Our biggest concerns is to stop future erosion and to make sure there's no danger to the public and make sure our roads stay in place and our roads don't wash out. And there is no modifications to the floodplain with this. We are keeping it as is. Next is just a quick rundown of what's going through there. We're putting box culverts and replacing the old steel and concrete culverts that are in place. And SAWS will be adjusting their 8-inch water line and their 12-inch water line. These are just the overviews of them, of the main part of the construction document for it, just so you can get a kind of look of what it looks like for each one. That one there is Circle A, and then the next one below it will be Peregrine Road. My timelines are a bit off because we had a council meeting canceled, but so y'all have approved the the bids. We will get with the contractor and get everyone a scheduled date of when we're going to start. SAWS has already approved their side, but we still have to do an ILA to get the funding recuperated. And obviously we are at 180 days for substantial completion. That 150 is wrong. That is my bad. And the next part is a bit of the breakdowns of funds, which we had already kind of gone over that a bit. I'm not going to dwell on unless anyone has any questions. And then I want to move on to future projects as far as where Public Works sees us in the next couple of years. So for 25-26, SAWS is actually doing a water project in Beverly Hills. So our plan is to make sure we follow behind them, and we're going to update our roads when they go through and do that. So they'll be taking care of the road they do the water line on, but we're going to take care of the rest of the neighborhood when they're done. That way that neighborhood is interrupted the least amount as possible. And then in 26-27, the plan is to work finally on Leslie Road. Depending on how our funds, we may do some other asphalt, but the main concern is going to be to bring Leslie Road up to par.
Excellent.
And that's it.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Any additional questions, comments, concerns?
No, so I will, just for clarification for the public, you stopped short of one thing, and this is totally easy for you. The total cost of these projects for this year is like 1.8 million.
Yeah, 1,800,000.
Yeah.
$816,100. That's our total.
And we have a budget right now of
1.9.
1.9 million.
Yes.
Good. So that's the part I just want to clarify.
Yep.
Right. We have enough money to pay for this.
Yeah.
Easy
The
day.
street maintenance fund currently has about 5.4 million in total.
Okay. So
Obviously, we never want to drain that account
Sure,
out.
sure.
But
we have enough to take care of business.
yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
So again, not borrowing any money and continuing our path to be debt-free in 9 years and 3 months.
I do want to make a comment. The light bulb went off in my head. So previous agenda item, we were talking about the annexation and the property development down there. As many of you may not know, we own previous decisions done years ago. We own the maintenance of those roads, right? And so they do have a street maintenance fund that gets a percentage of sales tax in order to fund that. By creating more sales tax opportunities down there, it helps us prepare for these big expenditures that are coming, because we own most of Brown Road, and we own a good chunk of
Most of
Shanefield and part of
yes.
Gulm Road. The city of Helotes is responsible because we own those roads. So therefore, we're responsible for the life cycle upgrades of those. So it seems fitting down around the Shanefield corner, we have the potential to earn more sales tax in order to help increase the funds in our street maintenance as those expenditures go up. And these are expenditures, these are going to be the first ones when you do Shanefield in the future, correct?
Yes. So there will eventually be major expenditures for Shanefield, Gulm, and Bronze. So any extra sales tax we can generate to help cover those is appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
With no further discussion, all in favor of approving item number 13 is written, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to the conclusion of this meeting, and I'm happy to say really quickly at 7:59, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thought there'd be more.
Almost under an hour.